Robinson, Auburn, Alabama, around the SEC, and around the nation. This is the Saturday Sports Countdown. To be a part of the program, call 256-234-6221. Now, let's join Brett, Randy, and Luke for the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Good Saturday morning out there to everybody, and welcome into the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee with you till 9 o'clock this morning, and glad that you've joined us out there wherever it is that you might be tuning us in, and we'll dive in this morning to a lot with Auburn and Alabama back on the court today. Out of conference play, though, as Auburn and Alabama part of that Big 12 the what is it called? It's not the shootout, but whatever. The SEC Big 12 challenge. We'll go through that as both teams will be on the floor. Auburn actually will be on the floor at 11 o'clock this morning. Alabama will be on the floor at 5. Alabama taking on Kansas State. They got several players suspended for that brawl that happened earlier in the week. Auburn will play Iowa State. So both teams looking to get a win and improve their stock there. High school sports, Randy, you're getting down to terms. Wrestling had dual matches going on. In basketball, I mean, just keep on cruising toward late February where we have the finals up in Birmingham. We'll blink and it'll be here because basically January is over. So basketball coming down the stretch. Spring sports about to get kicked off here for the High School Athletic Association with baseball, softball, soccer, those type sports. So it's kind of a transition period right now in the state of Alabama.
Well, you got a lot of championships that will be crowned over the next month, and Brett and I are looking forward to being a part of that with the semifinals and the finals the last week of February this year over at the Legacy Arena in Birmingham. This will be our 12th year to broadcast those semifinals and finals. And I'll start there, Brett, and we'll run down the wrestling duels championships. I love that change. We'll talk about that in the second segment. But I want to start there with basketball because that's kind of hot on my topic list right now is watching and seeing what's going on with high school basketball here in this state. We've had an amazing time to be following it. And the change of the game over that 12-year span is a little bit eye-opening. You know, I think 12 years ago you'd go to some games and defensively some teams would just flat hold people down. The ball at times, you know, I remember calling the Hillcrest-Tuscaloosa championship game about 7 or 8 years ago where the score, I think, ended in the 30s. Were you a part of that broadcast?
No, let me ask you a question. You do a great job of remember. I tell you, all these games run together for me.
Do they?
Over the year. I mean, you know, I remember a lot of specific things, but man, I don't. Man, we have called so many games, and I don't know. You have a better memory recollection. It just seems like it all just kind of compiles into one big blob for me.
Well, you know, and here's the reason I think I do in basketball.
Yeah. Maybe
more than the other sports. Because every basketball season that comes around, I realize how much I loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I was growing up and I was 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 years old, I mentally go, man, I was obsessed with that sport. And now, watching high school basketball, I'm obsessed with watching great coaches, great cultures, and they're different. But they have changed drastically over the last 12 years. My point was, back then, defensively in the half-court set, if you shut someone down and they really couldn't get the ball in the post and you forced them to shoot perimeter shots the entire time and you never gave up an offensive rebound, you'd get a game somewhere in the 30s or 40s. No more.
No, you don't get that
in the 6, 7As, if you don't play full court pressure, man defense that is in your face, making it very uncomfortable for everyone involved on the opposing team. If everybody on the opposing team is not a great ball handler, you're in trouble, deep trouble. 2 teams in this state do it by far better than anyone else right now. Those 2 teams, and my good friends, Steve Ward over at Huffman, I'm not going to mention them, but they're right on. They're that next layer that just not quite gotten over the hump. Robert E. Lee and Mountain Brook do it better than anyone.
They're 24-1 and 23-0 combined. I mean, respectively.
And it's a beautiful brand of basketball. I'll start with you there, Brett, because I know you love basketball too. But it's one of those brands that it's full court, defensive pressure, closing gaps defensively. You have no room to breathe.
Oh, no.
All 5 members of your team have to be able to handle the basketball. And if they can't, you're going to get run out of the gym.
Yeah, and
every night.
Use the entire floor. I mean, there's a lot of, the whole style of the game has changed, and coaches coach to that old way that you just talked about. Get the ball across half court, set up a deliberate offense. You don't have a shot clock. Try to get the best shot. Now it's how many possessions can you get, and how many steals and turnovers can you create? And it really is the smart thing. If you look at it from a basketball standpoint with the type of athletes you have on the floor, why wouldn't you use the entire floor? So they've been able – and just the game's changed in the way it's approached. Like you said, we had coaches that used to frown on you shooting a three-pointer. Now it's encouraged. You can't take enough three-pointers by a lot of coaches. That's just the way the structure of the game is. It's changed the way it's approached. It's changed the way it's played. It's changed the way the players are being recruited going into college and the style of game that you see in college basketball. It's really gone away in the NBA too. I mean, you see more big men shooting threes now. You used to never see a guy that was 6'10", 6'11", shooting a three-pointer. Now it's like, man, if he ain't shooting, then we're down a guy basically out here. Everybody on the floor can shoot a three. There is no dump in. There's no David Robinsons and Shaquille O'Neals and Hakeem Olajuwons and Patrick Ewings. That whole phase of the game is kind of – now, look, we all know that in sports things will phase back in. It'll probably be, 5, 10, maybe 15 years, but we'll see a cycle where it comes back to where the cool and the hip thing to do is to get the ball inside the big guy, and they'll change their strategies. We see it happen in football all the time. We've seen the game. Just look at football from the 70s to now, how it's changed.
Who's the best post player in the NBA, though, right now?
I
mean that what they do is they get the ball in the paint, they move around in the paint, they're asking for the ball constantly. Who's that guy?
I don't know that there is one.
I mean, I would say Anthony Davis maybe,
he
but
ain't really a post guy.
I don't think so either. I think he's a slasher type that can block shots.
He don't go down. He don't go down to the block and just sit there and wait for an interior pass.
I don't know if that part of the game's coming back, Brett.
Yeah.
I may be wrong, but man, when you look at it right now and there's zero. I watched Marc Gasol the other day knock down 2 threes.
Yeah.
In back-to-back possessions at the top of the key, and he is 7'2", 310 pounds.
They all can shoot. They all can shoot.
All can shoot and make it easy to see, and you have to extend your defense. But back to my thoughts, though, I guess the beauty of social media is that if you like something, they're going to keep throwing that thing that you like out there. Well, I think I've liked everything that Robert E. Lee's put out this year. Every post that the Ann Street Air Show has put out this year, I have either retweeted or I have liked. And here's what I love about Robert E. Lee. Watch their bench. Watch their bench. When they dunk, whenever they have,
they're totally into it.
The entire bench is up. There ain't somebody sitting over there moping because he's not playing. And I actually had their semifinal game against Mountain Brook last year, which was a really good one.
Probably going to be the same thing this year.
I mean, I don't know their coach personally, but I cheer for that guy. That guy is high energy, Bruce Pearl type, over on the sideline, 13 players, all 13 playing. Everybody's got a role. Nobody's sitting over there with their shooting shirt on. Everybody's up on the end of the bench, ready to go. And man, those type of coaches, I don't know, I get fired up watching that. And I'm going somewhere here. What Mountain Brook did about 11 or 12 years ago has changed basketball in this state. It really has. AAU game around this country has been good for basketball, but it's also been very, very, very bad for basketball.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Joe Blow gets the ball, and he dribbles until everybody in the gym's unconscious watching him dribble and look for a shot. I want to throw up watching that type of basketball.
Yep.
About
selfish.
10 or 11 years ago, you see just a drastic change, and that's where 13 players for Mountain Brook, good athletes, but none premier Division I for the most part athletes. Get out there. Do you think they're trying to win a game 33-31?
No.
Heck no. They're trying to run you out of the gym.
Get
They're
as many
trying to wear
possessions they
you
can.
out, and it's a beautiful thing. And I think we have some of the best high school coaches here in this state, and sometimes you kind of point back to one moment where you go, everybody had to change, or they were going to get it run away from them. I think Hoover in football was that team, Brett. Don't you agree?
Oh, yeah. How many conversations do we have about that?
Yeah.
Everybody was going, man, this is so unfair. It's the same team every year, same results every year. Well, first of all, you're not going to penalize a program for being successful. What are you going to do? Tell them to back off? You're going to tell them to take a couple of years off? If somebody wanted to be better, they had to come up to their level. That was the only way you were going to change the landscape. And that's what teams started doing. They knew that sitting around wishing that they were as good as Hoover wasn't going to cut it. They were still going to get their rear end beat every time they went on the field against them. That's changed now. And look, it was such a long stretch. I didn't think we'd ever see an end to it. But, Hoover has gone without a state championship now for how many years?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
Man, they got to feel like they're in the desert. I mean, compared to what they've been. They ain't even been to the state championship game when?
In the last two.
In the last two, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and they ain't got anything to do with Josh Niblett, and he didn't forget how to coach all of a sudden, and it's not that they don't have players up there. They had a 4-star quarterback. It's just teams came up to their level. So you have to make an adjustment if you want to get better. You can stay in the same doldrum that you've been in, or you can make an adjustment and figure out how to do it. And look, and it's not a cut on any team, but there's a lot of teams doing this style, winning a lot of games with not a lot of talent. It's a system, and they apply that system. Now, they got players. Don't get me wrong.
They got buy-in.
It's a system.
Yeah.
They got a lot of guys that know how to do that really well, and I can use examples all the way through college of that being the case. But that's how it gets done, and so you don't cry that you don't have as many players as somebody else, or you don't have as many athletes as another community. Because, look, I know Bucky McMillan had Trendon Wofford. I get that. He ain't on that team this year.
No, he wasn't on the first two state championships.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. So up against our first break, we come back. We'll keep this going. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider, Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Hi, I'm Kurt Bowman, General Manager of Vaden Toyota of Sylacauga.
And I'm Coco. Do you owe more on your vehicle than it's worth? Are you stuck with high interest rates? We may be able to help.
If you've made your last 12 consecutive payments on time and would like to get a new vehicle for the same or close to the same payment and save thousands of dollars in interest, you may qualify.
So come by and see us and let us show you the Vaden way.
Vaden Toyota of Sylacauga, located on Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Sound is something good. At Kia of Auburn, no money down, all month long.
Guaranteed I like it, yeah.
Plus, get no payments for 90 days and Kia's 100,000-mile 10-year warranty.
Sound is something good.
At Kia of Auburn on South College and KiaofAuburn.com.
Guaranteed I like it. No, I really love it.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Talking a little bit about the style and play, and in high school sports here right now. In the first few segments, I'm going to shift over to wrestling here in just a second. But the style of play in high school basketball and how much it's changed. It's just a fun brand of ball to watch. If you come up to Legacy Arena in Birmingham. Last week of February, you'll get to see it. If you've never been to a finals before, you're really selling yourself short, to be honest with you. If you're a basketball fan, you don't have to have a team that you particularly follow to be in a game to come up there and enjoy a lot of great basketball. It's a fun event for all of us each and every year. We've been doing it now for over a decade, and looking forward to this year, because as we look down the list, man, there's some great teams both on the boys and girls
well,
side.
Here's one thing. If I were a high school coach here in this state, in any sport, it would be mandatory if you were going to play on my team that we were going to go to the semis or the finals in any of the sports.
Yeah.
And we are going to watch our classification and see what it takes to get there.
It's good.
Because
good
if I'm going to go to 6A and 7A and I'm going to try to compete in those two classifications, and I haven't seen up close and personal.
You need to know what you're competing against.
What Mountain Brook and Robert E. Lee rolls out there on the court just per se. Or in
and by the way, they're going to be in 6A next year.
Or in Class 6A, Huffman, my good friend Steve Ward over there, and what he puts out there and the brand of basketball that they play. How in the world can you get somewhere if you don't know where you're going? And that is, I think you say a good point. You know, it's kind of like in the wrestling. Thompson, who, by the way, won another state championship in the duels this past last night, I think.
Yeah, surprising.
Which is not surprising. But, yes, if you want to get your program to that level, you got to see them, and you got to see them consistently. And I suspect in wrestling you do see them because they're in so many of the same tournaments. But in basketball, there's a good chance that if you're sitting right here in the central part of the state that you haven't seen Robert E. Lee play this year.
Mm-mm.
Or there's a good chance that Spanish Fort, who's got a really good team that I think defeated Daphne last night in a big rival match, and Spanish Fort was in the 6A semis last year, that you haven't seen them play.
You know, the good thing about social media, though, is it's changed that a little bit. Used to, you definitely didn't have a venue to see anybody. You had no clue what somebody even looked like. Now, with people posting things on Twitter and Facebook and whatever it is, whatever mode of social media you want to put out there, you'll be able to see a video clip at least. Now you feel like you watched entire games.
I'm a Robert E. Lee fan.
So
I'm an Ann Street Air Show fan.
Well, you know what? They're about to collide in Birmingham again. Mountain Brook and Robert E. Lee, just like they did last year. I think that what they've done, both programs, and they're both programs doing it differently, and how they got their teams to where they are. But they're combined 47-1 this year, and Mountain Brook's won.
I think the one loss out of state too.
Yeah, it was. That's where I was going. The Mountain Brook's won several tournaments already, national tournaments, and then of course Robert E. Lee, if they entered a tournament, I mean, who
Mount
knows?
Brook last year with that squad that they had defeated the national champion in an early season tournament. They beat IMG. So we talked about IMG in football and how unrealistic it is for a high school program to beat them. Well, they won the national championship in basketball too, and this same Mountain Brook program that we're talking about beat them in an early season Christmas tournament, I think, last year. Two of the best wrestling programs in this state undoubtedly are Thompson High School and Vestavia Hills. And Vestavia has been one of the top programs here in this state for as long as I can remember in my lifetime. I think they have surpassed Benjamin Russell for most state titles in school history with 14 or 15. Now, they don't pick one up last night, though, as Thompson, now at 19-5 on the season, defeated Vestavia Hills at 16-4. You can count on those 5 losses for Thompson have all been out of state, every single one of them. But they take down Vestavia Hills in a really close matchup, 41-24.
Yeah.
I bet you that was a packed gym and worthy of being there to watch. So congratulations as Thompson adds another trophy to the case. Our good friend and local great wrestler and great family here in Alexander City, their coach and Riley Pike, and Riley just gets after it on the wrestling side, and I'm proud for him and proud for his family, and wow, what a job that Thompson. I think that's one of the spotlight documentaries that we plan on doing here in the next year will be an in-depth look at that Thompson wrestling program, which over the last decade started, they didn't have one, they started from the youth up. And now, how many state championships have those cats won in the last 10 or 11 years?
I mean,
5, 6, 7?
I was going to say 7 or 8 probably.
And they are a national contender now on these national tournaments. You know, we're talking when they go out to the Midwest where wrestling is king, there'll be 40 teams there, and they'll finish in the top 10. And
that goes back to what you were saying about, you know, taking your team to Legacy Arena. If you're trying to build your program up to be a title contender, I mean, first of all, you got to know what you're going up. You got to know what your opponent is. You don't go into war, into battle, not knowing the characteristics of the enemy across the way. If you do, you probably ain't gonna win. Well, you got to. I mean, getting those players' eyeballs on what they've got to achieve, where they've got to set their bar, is the very first building block, in my opinion.
I agree.
Because if you don't have a clue, if your program's never been there before, they've never sniffed trying to get to a state championship Final Four, then how do you know what you need to be doing and what you're doing in practice? So you go in there and you watch, and then those players walk out of that gym and they go, whew, man, if we're supposed to get to that level, we got to pick it up several notches. Or, man, we're not that far away. You may walk out of the gym going, we're right there. We can do what they're doing. Why aren't we doing that? You know, we need to just do a little bit of this or a little bit of that, and we can be right there. So it's knowing who your opponent is.
A program here in this state that's good top to bottom right now, and just what I watch and what they do, and just being an innocent bystander out there seeing is Gardendale High School. Gardendale had a very good football season. They have started to string several good football seasons together. They're really good in baseball, and now they win a state championship in duels in wrestling. Congratulations to Gardendale as they take down a very game Oxford squad that has
that's a big win.
Won their fair share of state championships in that sport too. As Gardendale defeats Oxford 45-28 last night, and Arab wins another state title, defeating Ranburn 40-26 in the 1A through 5A finals. A lot of good wrestling.
And let's stress that a lot of look, you can still be a really good wrestling team and not show in duels because you don't have some guys at certain weight classes. You better have somebody in every weight class to have a chance to win in this format. And if you don't, I mean, it just is what it is. But you go on to the state championships here, doesn't mean that you'll see different teams at the top, for some of the state championship runs here the next few weeks because it's just a different format.
Yeah, different format, and I know we're up against a break, but I love the wrestling. If you are looking to go, and like Brett and I said, if you don't know what you're up and competing against, you've really got to go out there as a youth and see what's going on. It's at the Von Braun Center in
It
Huntsville.
is in Huntsville.
Massive center there, and I've never heard anything but good things about the state championship.
It's a good venue, good venue. Up against our next break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. WOTM has you covered with live coverage of all 7 championship games of the Super 7. WOTM is available to all TV providers in Alabama. If WOTM is not currently a part of your channel lineup, call your provider and request that they add WOTM. WOTM, your exclusive TV home for the AHSAA Super 7 basketball, baseball, and softball championships. All live only on WOTM.
What's behind the CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going?
Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
Have you heard the news? Your favorite chick is now online. That's right, you can now get Chicken Salad Chick even faster by visiting order.chickensaladchick.com. Chicken Salad Chick, born in Alabama and serving the best chicken salad around.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. Halfway through the first hour here this morning. Give us a call, 256-234-6221, if you'd like to be part of the show, or you can comment, obviously, on Facebook Live. We appreciate all of you out there watching and listening. Just thought it was interesting talking about height. This kind of goes in with what we've discussed so far this morning. The Sharif Cooper, the 5-star point guard that's coming to Auburn next year. Bruce Pearl comes out and says, look, you know, they released the McDonald's All-Americans this week, and Sharif Cooper will be Auburn's, what, 3rd all-time? And there was a lot of the reason that Sharif Cooper didn't go ahead and commit earlier publicly was because he was afraid, and this coming out of Bruce Pearl's mouth, he was afraid he wouldn't be named McDonald's All-American because he was going to Auburn, and because and Bruce Pearl doesn't ever mince words, and he didn't ever hold back. He said, look, we ain't a national brand. We don't have certain shoes that we're supposed to be wearing, and he's right. You know, that's exactly what it boils down to, and that's sad that there's no way that obviously you look at Sharif Cooper and say he wouldn't make the McDonald's All-American list. Well, guess what? Isaac Okoro, one of the top freshmen in the country right now. He just didn't all of a sudden morph into that a few weeks into the season. he was that guy last year. He was the number 2 player in the state of Georgia last year. He didn't get a Matt Knowles All-American invitation. So it's a little bit biased, and that's the underbelly of NCAA basketball that you and I have talked about on this show for months now, when we've gone through all these different scandals and the underlying part of what goes on behind the scenes with Nike and Adidas. And that's where we are with it.
It wasn't too long ago, Brett, that you and I were having a few programs, though, that said that Auburn couldn't get there or Alabama couldn't get to their tops because of those type of issues.
They made it a lot more difficult. There's no doubt about it.
So, but it was this is one of those things that you have. There's nothing you can do about this. You know, you have no control over who they choose. So that's a branding deal. But you know, the thing that I'm so happy about, and the thing I think Alabama fans are going to be really, really happy about, is there's been a lot of excuses for a long time here in this state of why we can't have good programs in basketball, unless my eyes are telling me something different. Nate Oates is about to have a squad over there in Tuscaloosa, and it might be this year. They play a beautiful brand of basketball that, just like we just talked about on the high school ranks, that I love, that I enjoy, and I think that guy gets after it. We already know what Bruce Pearl's doing here for Auburn.
It starts with the coach, and then it starts with their philosophy. And let's just be honest. I mean, you had 2 duds at Alabama and Auburn for a long time. And when a recruit comes in, first of all, you are behind the 8 ball with the brand. You are behind the 8 ball that you're not a blue blood. So you got to do something to try to attract a good top player to come to your program. And when they walked into the Coleman Coliseum and watched that paint drying on the floor,
yeah,
I mean, who wants to go play for that? And then same at Auburn. You started to question if Tony Barbee knew how to coach basketball. He was so bad. I mean, it's some of the worst stuff that you'd ever seen in your life. And then, to the point where people were like, they need to blow that arena up, rethink that, and do something with it, because what you're putting on the floor in there, and nobody wants to even go in there and watch it. So I don't. How many was it must-see TV for you up until Bruce Pearl got here for basketball? I never look, man. If I caught the score of Auburn basketball, somebody'd call and say, "Man, we won a game." It was like a milestone, So Auburn actually won a game on the road. It's the first one they won in 3 years or some kind of.
I remember you telling me this. This is when Braden was young, but you said, "Randy, I don't know what it is, but every time I take Braden over there at Auburn Arena to watch a game, we win." And I said, "Well, Brett, all I can promise you is just get him in the car and take him over there when Kentucky or Florida or
doubt.
anybody's decent, and you'll end that."
Well, we were a 17-point underdog that time I took him over to watch Mississippi State, and we won. I had no intention. I had no thoughts that we were going to win that game, and we did. And that's when I called you. I was like, I don't know what it is, man. It's kind of crazy, but that didn't last very long. But now, when you got this program the way it is, you're not looking backwards, man. It is realistic that Auburn's going to land Jalen Green, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing's getting more and more. The post you see Sharif Cooper putting out.
50-50 at the worst.
Oh, at the worst, 50-50. And then hadn't heard much from Greg Brown, but I mean, all indications lead to us in Texas with him. I mean, if you were somehow to get those 2 guys to go with Sharif Cooper, that's game changing. That's program changing, even more than what you've seen Bruce Pearl accomplish already. I mean, now you go, well, how can it be more game changing than going to a Final Four? Well, teams can make a run in basketball. You can get the right chemistry together one time, and you can make a run. You can get a good draw, and you can make a push to a Final Four. I'm talking about a program that didn't catch lightning in a bottle, that will be a contender to do this year in and year out. Well, you do it by recruiting those type players, and that's where Bruce Pearl's got it. Those guys want to come to this program now. It's not a flash in the pan or luck or happenstance that you're able to snag one of these guys. Now, you're garnering the interest of all the top recruits.
Well, and here's the thing I want to ask Luke when hopefully we catch up with Luke is I wonder if the feeling over in Tuscaloosa is the same. Do you get a sense that the feeling in Tuscaloosa's turning that quick? Because Alabama should be 5-1 in SEC play.
I know they should.
If they don't blow a 20-plus point lead At Florida, by
I know
the way. And still take them to double overtime. Even when they start going backwards and give up that 20-point lead, it's not like they quit.
Because they shoot the basketball so well and they score.
Here's what they did against Auburn. They lit us up defensively.
They did.
They got into us. We didn't like it. We couldn't get off. We couldn't get shots. We dang sure couldn't get away from them. And they played post defense against us. I didn't think they could. I thought Austin Wiley in that basketball game, if he ever was going to get 18 to 20 points, it would be in that one. Because I questioned the post play for Alabama. No. Alex Reese manned him up and then extended him out and knocked down three-pointers, several of them, and scored 15 that night. This team,
I told y'all.
I know you've been saying it longer than I have, but look, I'm bought in. The last few games I've watched they're different.
What I was watching early on, and I understood your argument and Andy's and everybody else's, and Luke's was kind of, Luke's going to play. Well, we ain't quite as good, but kind of in the background, he knows he's got something a little bit. I looked at it and I said, I don't know what y'all are, this thing they score. I don't care who defends. Everybody's got there's some good defensive teams out there. But the way Alabama moves and just the way you opened the show this morning, talking about the style and the type of basketball that's being played now, you ain't going to stop them from doing what they're doing. They're going to take 33s. Okay? That's just the bottom line. They may not make but 4, and if they do, they probably get beat that night. But they're not going to change and conform because you change, because you run a different style of basketball. They're going to do their thing. So they're going to try to score as much as they can, and right now it's working for them.
It is, and it's a fun brand that I think is going to bring recruits in there too.
And it is.
And Alabama, Auburn, I don't think there's any end in sight what we're going to end up with there. Bruce Pearl can just
How fast
sell
can Nate Oates get the recruiting to the level Bruce Pearl's got it to? That's going to be your difference.
He needs one of, and
he's got to get a top player.
It could be the second half of this season, Brett.
It could be.
Look, I think Kyra Lewis is as good a guard as we've got in the SEC. I think he's a flat pro. When I watch him play, we could not keep him in front of us.
No, well, Auburn struggled that on pretty much everybody
But his
they
length,
played.
Brett, is different. This guy is 6'3", playing guard, and he's long, and he's quick. Is he a premier shooter? No, but, man, that guy right there has got to be one that NBA teams go, I'm frothing at the mouth to get that guy in, because there's nothing missing there.
No.
And I think he'd be. They better enjoy him over in Tuscaloosa this year, because I think he'll be gone next year, and I think it'll be worthy, and he won't be rambling around in the D League. I think he'll be up there in one of the big squads quick.
Got to get to a break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. WOTM has you covered with live coverage of all 7 championship games of the Super 7. WOTM is available to all TV providers in Alabama. If WOTM is not currently a part of your channel lineup, call your provider and request that they add WOTM. WOTM, your exclusive TV home for the AHSAA Super 7 basketball, baseball, and softball championships. All live only on WOTM.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life. Since the dawn of time, mankind has needed tools. But not all tools are created equal. AGF Machine Rental Sales and Service has tools for all commercial construction or big residential projects. AGF Machinery offers the most durable and hardworking brands of ASV, Skyjack, and Wacker Neuson. Aerial lifts, scissor lifts, loaders, excavators, and forest equipment on demand for the best possible price. And backed by the Southeast's best team of professionals. Visit any of our strategic locations across Alabama for all your equipment needs. Or online at agfmachinery.com.
Hey Realtors, do you know about LMG Ad Agency? We build your brand and help sell your properties or a unique lifestyle so you can focus on your clients. We focus on professional photos, videos, aerial photography and videography, and commercial real estate. We'd love to tell your story. Contact us today at 256-392-4250 or visit our website at lmgadagency.com.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Sunshine, Heating, and Air. We'll kind of shift over into something that's kind of stolen the headlines, and it's not because people just keep putting it up there. The story keeps putting itself up there, and it's sad. And the guy's obviously got some problems, and this thing's not. I don't think this is just a show any longer. I think this is a real person that's got some real issues, and maybe this is his way of clamoring for help. I don't know. And I'm talking about Antonio Brown. I mean, this is a guy that came in the NFL you never heard anything out of other than just what he did on the field early on in his career. And he was a guy that was a mainstay for the Steelers. It seemed like a company guy that was bought in and, played for a great coach and Mike Tomlin and, had a great relationship with Ben Roethlisberger and, the rest of the team. He was a leader on the team. And then somewhere in the last few years, the train's derailed, and it started with the relationship with him and his quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, being at odds, and then it kind of gravitated to Mike Tomlin. And then all of a sudden the Pittsburgh Steelers are against him. They sided with, that was his excuse, is they sided with Ben Roethlisberger over him on certain things, and then he got out, and it's gone downhill. And he turned himself in Thursday night for an incident that happened at his home in Florida with a moving truck guy, where basically him and his trainer just beat the crap out of the guy because of a dispute. Well, earlier in the week, or late last week, he had put an Instagram video out about with his kids, small kids, out there in the street, and I guess it's one of his ex-girlfriends or whatever. It's kids to have together. She was there trying to pick them up, or he accused her of trying to steal one of the cars or whatever. But the video was horrendous, man, of him just F-bombing everybody out in the road and the police and the kids standing there having to listen to all that stuff. The guy's got some issues, man. And look, I just watched the Aaron Hernandez documentary on Netflix, and I'm just going to tell you that you can see the progression, and this is a totally different deal. Obviously, Antonio Brown ain't killed anybody, but it's the disturbing signs early on that people ignore sometimes when somebody needs help. And Aaron Hernandez wasn't going to go to anybody and ask for help. He just had some situations going on, and people missed some red flags. Well, these are some red flags. When the guy sprints out of the courtroom and runs down the steps and just bizarro stuff that he's got going on.
Yeah, and I'm not a psychiatrist by no means, but when you watch all of this, you hope somebody gets him some help. But what kind of help do you get? Who gets it for him? Because he's a generational talent. when he was out there on the field with the Steelers, he was the best receiver in the game for a few years there, and there's no reason for him not to be now. You would hope someone could get to him.
And nobody would touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Not now, and several teams were going to give him a shot here earlier in the year, including the New England Patriots. But they finally had to back off of it also just due to stories that were in the press and bad look. And, you know, I'm sorry. You've done the right things while you're here with us, but we can't keep putting our program and you being one of the faces of the program back out there. And it's a sad deal. It's sad to watch. And in today's world of social media and the addiction that I think many people get to it, which he's one, you know, when you're the one making the post or when others are making negative posts and you're just kind of adding
You're pouring gas on the fire.
Adding fuel to the fire because you can't get away from it, it's sad. But it's right there in front of you. This is no longer the Real World on MTV, which everyone points to started some of this off, where we're all intrigued not only by athletes but by Joe general public. We want to watch and see what
somebody's
people are
doing in their life.
Now you can do that without needing MTV to put you out there. You just do it on your phone, and if you're intriguing enough people are going to get out and find you. I mean, you and I've talked at long time about this on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's just kids out there that have millions of followers. My daughter watches this little girl named Emma all the time, and I've got Emma in the back of my head. I mean, I think I have nightmares with Emma in the way that she talks because she, you know, everything she says is really loud. Oh, Auntie Jim, but she's obsessed with her, and that's all that she watches. It's interesting to watch where we're going down.
Yeah, the whole thing's changed, and like I said, everybody's got a platform now. You know how you choose to use it. You can use it for for positive gain, or you can unveil a bad side of yourself, and that's what Antonio Brown's. Look, he's asking for help without blatantly asking for help. And so he's going to go through a mental evaluation, I believe now, which is needed because you got a lot of guys out there saying that this has got to be a direct result of CTE and some early onset problems with head injuries due to football. And it may be, and it's proven that disease changes your demeanor. It changes the way you react to things. It makes you more sporadic. It makes you more, a lot more with a short fuse, I guess is lack of terms, what I'm looking for. More, spontaneous, I guess is the word I'm looking for. That's what that disease does. And then when they donated Aaron Hernandez's brain to research, and the lady that did the research on his brain, and she showed a healthy brain versus his, man, he was totally eaten up with it. So not that they're using that as an excuse for why he did what he did, but he was real impulsive, man.
Great documentary.
Very great, very good documentary. I mean,
I haven't watched it yet.
Very, very impulsive behavior created by some of that stuff. Now, he had a rough life too coming up. I mean, he was in a house that he pretty much had a good structured family, but his dad was real overbearing, and he had some other issues with his sexuality and all that kind of stuff coming up through, and just hidden things that he tried to keep away that culminated into what ultimately his downfall. So go to Netflix and watch it. I encourage you to. It's very, very interesting out there. Up against our next break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider, Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. WOTM has you covered with live coverage of all 7 championship games of the Super 7. WOTM is available to all TV providers in Alabama. If WOTM is not currently a part of your channel lineup, call your provider and request that they add WOTM. WOTM, your exclusive TV home for the AHSAA Super 7 basketball, baseball, and softball championships. All live only on WOTM.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
Expect it or not, the loss of a loved one is difficult. Put your family first by planning ahead. This is Joseph Dean, new owner of Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers. We are a full-service funeral home with an on-site crematory and cemetery. Whether your need is immediate or you would like to plan in advance, our experienced, compassionate staff can assist you in designing an enduring memorial experience, burial, or cremation. Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers on Highway 280 in Camp Hill or online, alabamafuneralhomes.com.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Gorees Furniture.
Your expressway to saving. Sound is something good.
At Kia of Auburn, no money down all month long.
Guaranteed I like it, yeah.
Plus, get no payments for 90 days and Kia's 100,000-mile 10-year warranty.
Sound is something good.
At Kia of Auburn on South College and KiaofAuburn.com.
Guaranteed I like it. No, I really love it.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown. Short segment here as we lead into the top of the hour break, and a lot of national headlines that are going on. If you got some comments to some of this stuff, please send it to us on Facebook. If you'd like to call in, be part of the program, we'd love to hear from you. Some major headlines, obviously, one being the Antonio Brown debacle, and then obviously, Zion Williamson exploding onto the scene. His first 2 games as a Pelican have not disappointed. And, man, I'll kind of go over some stuff about that in the next hour. But then now the Astros basically being found that guilty of what they were accused of. Not going to have to forfeit their title. Boston's not going to have to forfeit their title. But managers did lose their jobs. Players are kind of on both sides of this thing. Some are very sorrowful and apologetic, and others are mad at the guy that brought all this to light. So, you know, I don't know which side of the fence you're on out there, but they're not going to be stripped of their title. Doesn't look like anybody's going to be suspended. How does Pete Rose look at this whole deal? You know, this guy has to be the one guy sitting out there going, you know, these guys cheated the game. They cheated to win a World Series. They did all this. They get a slap on the wrist. Man, they go, well, we just don't do that again. It got exposed. You know, I did gamble on baseball, but I did gamble on my own team, and I gambled to try to make us win. I wasn't betting against us, and they banned me for life. There is some discrimination there, in my opinion, on those decisions that have been levied. I'm not saying that this is as bad as that one or vice versa. But, I mean, these players, man, I mean, for the Astros and the Red Sox and everybody else that's involved, I know what they're thinking is, man, if we keep digging in this thing, it's going to be way worse than than we've ever expected, and we're going to have a mess on our hands. We need to just say, look, this is how we're going to end it, and we're going to monitor this, and we're going to move on. I think Major League Baseball has approached it that way.
Well, I'll give the same take I've had before, and here it is. There's a game within the game that goes on in baseball, and I don't care if you're in Little League all the way up to the tops. There are a bunch of guys that aren't playing. There's 18 on a high school or a Little League roster. Only 9 are out there on the field. 5 or 6 of those guys, and look, there's even more when you get into major leagues, but there's a bunch of those guys that are pitchers only. They don't do anything.
That's right.
So there's a game within the game on, can we pick up on their signals? Can we pick up on pitches that they're calling? Maybe a coach is sitting over there on a bucket calling pitches. Can I pick up on that and pass it along? And no, it's not that easy. You know, I'm intrigued by seeing the final story on this, Brett. Like, really, exactly what happened. It's not as easy as putting an earpiece in. Look, if I'm standing at shortstop and I've got a guy that's taking leads off of second base, and I can sense that this guy is trying to get my catcher's signals. You don't think I noticed that? I see it. You know how easy it is to change those signals, Brett? Not everybody's one's a fastball.
No,
I
it's of
don't
course
care
not.
if you're in Little League, not everybody's one's a fastball.
No.
If you think somebody's picking up on it. So I think there are a lot of randoms out there, and look, I'm no professional baseball player by no stretch of the imagination, but it's not like you're going, that's a fastball, it's going to be on the outside corner. Be ready for it. Hit the ball over the fence to right field.
You do have to admit,
like
though,
that's just just that simple.
Yeah, you do have to admit that Jose Altuve's numbers in Minute Maid Park versus on the road are just astronomically different.
Well, they were in that series, yes, and maybe the whole season it pans out that way. I don't know, but a lot of players hit better at certain
No, I
parks.
understand. Hey,
A lot of guys hit better off certain mounds.
Yeah, there's one thing of hitting better.
Yeah.
And then there's one thing of, like, you go from hitting as in a slow pitch softball game to trying to hit a golf ball on the road.
I'd have to look at his stats over the last 3 or 4 years. That was just one series.
No, it was, and it just is glaring when you start looking at this particular year's stuff.
Dying to get to say that I'm right.
Okay.
Everything I'm
All
saying is right.
You know what Major League Baseball, in essence, has done with all this?
What?
Nothing.
Well, because what are they to do?
All right, well, I'm going somewhere with it. They've done nothing. I'm still going out there with Pete Rose. The only people that have suffered from this really are the managers. They fired them. They fired the GM too. They'll get another job, though. You know it's coming. They were the fall guys. Somebody's got to take the fall when something's uncovered. But they're not going to do anything to any of these players. I don't know if they can prove anything with any of these guys. They have admitted that all that was going on, so that's out in the bag. They're not going to make them forfeit their World Series titles. So, really, I mean, it's a much ado about nothing.
Well, let's go back to the PEDs. You think there was any Major League Baseball team that didn't have someone on PEDs? Any?
No.
Zero.
None.
Okay, so how would you go back and say, let's just say that you say there was a championship that was won and the best player on the team was on PEDs, and so let's pull that championship away from them. Well, what are we doing? Are we saying, well, this squad we've determined had 12 on PEDs and this squad only had 8, so the one that had 8 on the PEDs, you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Every squad's trying to – every squad, there is a game within the game, you're trying to steal signs. I don't know any baseball team that any of you or any of us have been around from 7 to 8 years old that didn't try to steal signs.
That's right.
From the opposition.
Well, the bottom line in this, the summation of all this is that this came out. Yes, everybody admitted what we've all known has been going on for over a century, and so it's just out and open now. Period. That's really what came out of all this. Okay. Yep. Were y'all stealing signs? We were. Okay. Everybody does it. All right. Well, are you going to do anything about it? No, probably not. So we're just going to keep doing it. So basically they said, this is the way our game's played. If you don't like it, turn the channel. And that's really what it is. I mean, that's really the summation of it, if you want the honest truth. If you don't like that somebody's doing something behind the scenes in the game of baseball, and it turns you off so much that you don't want to watch the game, then just don't. I mean, but Major League Baseball has pretty much made the stance with this right here by not ruling on anything, by saying, look, this is what's been going on for years. It ain't going to stop. It don't matter what we do. So we're just going to move forward from it. But, you know, to be honest, if I were Hinch and some of these other guys, if I was Alex Cora, I'd be like, why didn't we get fired? Why Carlos Beltran's like, well, why didn't I lose my job before I even coached a game for the Mets? I got an argument. Because Major League Baseball did nothing with this.
There's nothing they can
do. But some people lost their job. If I'm one of them, I'm saying something. I'm going to be like, I'm the only one that took the fall. It's kind of like Rick Pitino in college basketball. Why was he the only one that got fired? You know, he ain't come out and said anything, so there was obviously more to it than that. There may be more to it with those guys too. I don't know that. I'm just saying that after all this has gone on and Major League Baseball has pretty much said this is what we're going to do, and I lost my job and everybody else gets to just cruise right on down the road like nothing happened, I'm going to say something about it. So it's really about those individuals, those 3 or 4 individuals now more than it is the game of baseball. Up against the top of the hour break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. WOTM has you covered with live coverage of all 7 championship games of the Super 7. WOTM is available to all TV providers in Alabama. If WOTM is not currently a part of your channel lineup, call your provider and request that they add WOTM. WOTM, your exclusive TV home for the AHSAA Super 7 basketball, baseball, and softball championships. All live only on WOTM.
Since the dawn of time, mankind has needed tools. But not all tools are created equal. AGF Machine Rental Sales and Service has tools for all commercial construction or big residential projects. AGF Machinery offers the most durable and hardworking brands of ASV, Skyjack, and Wacker Neusen. Aerial lifts, scissor lifts, loaders, excavators, and forest equipment on demand for the best possible price. And backed by the Southeast's best team of professionals. Visit any of our strategic locations across Alabama for all your equipment needs. Or online at agfmachinery.com.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization, wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat, full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma, all with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com, 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown here in hour number 2. Give us a call, 256-234-6221. Comment away on Facebook out there. Man, there's some stuff that, you look on Twitter talking about the Aaron Hernandez deal. When you start diving in, Florida gets a lot of coverage in this documentary. And there's a lot of people, I've seen these tweets over the last week. Man, they need to do a 30-30 on the 2008 Florida Gators team as a whole because of all the various personalities on that team. You got the most Christian guy that you've ever seen in Tim Tebow, and it's not fake. I mean, he's lived his life to that extent, and people have taken shots at him his whole career, and he stood solid to his faith, and that's very impressive in this world today. And then you had Cam Newton on the team. We know his story with the computer and all, and how he ended up in junior college and ended up moving on to Auburn. And then they had the Pouncey twins on that team. They had Riley Cooper, who's been accused as a racist, when he was in Philly and all the stuff he did. And then of course, you got Aaron Hernandez on that team. They said, man, what a bunch of, Lord have mercy.
Well, and you didn't even talk about Urban Meyer.
Well,
and all of the issues that he was having during that time, and you didn't talk about a grad assistant that he had hired that ended up in all that mess. That's Smith up at Ohio State. Same guy was down there at Florida with him. It's just a true mess that they had.
Is that something? Has that got something to do with Urban Meyer's character? Is this a reflection of his character as a person? Because this went not just from Florida; it gravitated up to Ohio State too. And what he ended up eventually losing his job at Ohio State over all that mess and what he tried to cover up. And you got to be kidding me, man, if you don't think he knew all this stuff was going on. At Florida, he didn't know that there were some issues and there was a red flag. He even admits, he's interviewed in this Netflix documentary, he said, we tried to keep him from going home to Bristol, Connecticut, because every time he went home, something bad happened. We tried to keep him here, and then then he gets drafted by the New England Patriots. And, in that same draft, they drafted Rob Gronkowski in front of him. And, they went through his NFL evaluation, and Bill Belichick gets up there and he goes, we're really surprised that he was still on the board with an opportunity for us to draft him, but we're able to get him in the 4th round. And we know what kind of player he was. He was dominant in the NFL during his stretch. But his evaluation was great except for one category, and that was maturity. And you look at it and how they had him graded all the way across all the different categories, and they showed his test score or their evaluation, and his maturity level was way down. The New England Patriots would have been the perfect organization for him to go to, you'd think, because of their structure and how everybody buys in. We all know that people go up there to get rehabbed. They've tried to do it with Josh Gordon and Antonio Brown because it's about the process, kind of like Nick Saban said.
They did it better than anyone with Randy Moss.
Well, they did it with Randy Moss. That's my point.
Yeah.
But the only caveat to that whole deal for Aaron Hernandez is that he was that close to home. He could drive home. Best thing he could have done is been drafted by San Francisco or Seattle or somebody out west, and him to get the heck out of here and not be around all that crap, because when he went home, all that stuff spiraled out of control and ended up, and we hear that all the time, Randy, with people. Sometimes it's best for guys to get away from their hometown. And they kind of made it out to be like where he grew up in Bristol, Connecticut, that the high school was, he was tough times. That was the furthest thing from the truth. That was a great high school he went to. Real, they showed it, and the students there and all, where you'd want your child to go to school. It's who he chose to hang out with.
Yeah.
It's who he associated himself with, and he couldn't get away from it. Had to come back anytime they had off time, even in the NFL. He was back home hanging out with those guys. So just interesting stuff there.
There's so much content out there. Justin and I talk about this all the time. Any new documentaries, sports documentaries that you're into? Anything else you've watched here lately? Do you watch as much of that as I do, Brett, or do you watch games?
No, I watch games. Yeah. I watched the other in downtime. I watched that documentary there, and then if it's something interesting for me in history or whatever, I'm gonna watch it. And you have that opportunity now, and you can kind of set your own pace and when you want to watch it and all that kind of stuff. But as a whole, I'm gonna be watching more games probably than anything. But like Zion Williamson, I watched him last night again, and that's something that we're gonna dive into here in just a little bit. I don't know if it's the media wanting him to be the next great NBA player, or the hype's truly around who he is and what he's doing, because his first 2 games, he's exceeded expectations. If you possibly could do that. Now, it didn't come to the fourth quarter in the first game. I mean, he had 5 points going in the fourth quarter, hadn't played very many minutes, and, you know, they're trying to manage him right now as far as how much he's on the floor because he's trying to rehab that meniscus and trying to get back from that knee surgery. But, you know, there's no doubt if they'd have left him in the game, they'd have won the game. He brought them back single-handedly.
Yeah.
And then last night, they took him out with 6 minutes to go, and the lead had been cut to like 6 against the Nuggets. And when he went out, the lead exploded back up to like 12 and 14. There, you know, a lot of people are mad that they're not leaving him in the game, but they've got to manage. I mean, you can't.
Well, they're not playing for anything this year.
They're not.
And the market value for the Pelicans when they received his pick, automatically that franchise went up $500 million overnight just for getting him. I mean, let that sink in. You can't just run the tread off of those tires. You've got to let this guy recuperate. And we've seen so many guys coming out of college because, you know, in today's world, and I didn't realize this, but Ja Morant and Zion Williamson played on the same AAU team when they were young.
They did.
They were actually got the first guys off of the bench when they were 14, 15 years old, playing on a 16, 17, 18-year-old AAU team. And I didn't realize that. But think about how much basketball these guys play now leading into that. I've known Zion Williamson. We've been watching videos on him since he was 14 or 15 years old.
Oh, I know.
Probably playing 120 to 150 basketball games a year. By the time you are 19 or 20 years old, it probably won't hurt you to take a year off.
That's true.
And let those things, you know, and I think that you're special if you don't. Like LeBron James right now is unbelievable how healthy that guy stayed with his size and how many.
And he's battled a bunch of injuries, but he's fought through.
That's all been recently.
Yeah.
You know, before then, he found a way to stay on the court for a majority of the time. But my eyes tell me he's going to be exceptional.
Oh, man. Well, Michael Jordan came out and said, I think this is just a small taste of what we're going to see for a long time, which translates into these card prices for him.
Oh.
I've just never seen anything like it in my life. I mean, there are people regularly paying $30,000 to $50,000 for a Zion rookie right now, especially in certain brands. I'm not kidding, man, and it's every day because I monitor it every day. I mean, it's
so they're just
amazing.
holding inventory down so low that it's driving the prices.
Well, it's this, yeah and no. There's still a lot of common Zion, but all those, just your base Zion Williamson cards are going for $200. You can go buy a pack of cards for $3.99 and pull a Zion base rookie card out. It's a $200 card right now. That's how inflated it is. The demand for that is. But Panini has done something with these specific cards, the numbered cards to 25 or to 99 or the one of one. You get one of those one of ones, man, it's a $100,000 card right now. That's just it. They only made one of it, and he signed it, and it's the value of what the market's demanding. I hadn't gotten one, unfortunately. I hadn't landed one of those yet.
It won't mean you won't keep
but
trying.
It won't mean that I probably won't ever get it, though, either. So, up against our next break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hey Realtors, do you know about LMG Ad Agency? We build your brand and help sell your properties or a unique lifestyle so you can focus on your clients. We focus on professional photos, videos, aerial photography and videography, and commercial real estate. We'd love to tell your story. Contact us today at 256-392-4250 or visit our website at lmgadagency.com.
Hey, slow down, buddy. This ain't Talladega, and that race car driver's number on your back window, you ain't him. Truth is, just 10 miles over the speed limit, and your chances of killing someone are 4 times higher. So forget the number on your window and memorize the one on that orange prison jumpsuit. Stop speeding before speeding stops you.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
You already know the power and reliability of a Mahindra tractor. Get ready to meet their ATV and UTV lines. Haul more and tow more. Do more. Reaching speeds up to 60 miles an hour. Models have a 12-inch ground clearance and the ability to haul up to 1,200 pounds. There's a Mahindra utility vehicle and a model specifically to get the job done. Test drive today at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor. Serving Tallapoosa, Coosa, Clay, and Talladega counties. 256-392-3613.
Alex City Marines, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, and the Yerkes invite you by to see what they have available today. The 2020 Manitous and Landaus are in, and boy, are they gorgeous. Also, some great deals on demos. Take advantage of that while they last. Alex City Marine also is doing shrink wrapping, storage. Get in line now. In fact, call this number, 256-215-FISH. Alex City Marine, Alex City.
Hi, I'm Kurt Bowman, General Manager of Vaden Toyota of Sylacauga.
And I'm Coco. Do you owe more on your vehicle than it's worth? Are you stuck with high interest rates? We may be able to help.
If you've made your last 12 consecutive payments on time and would like to get a new vehicle for the same or close to the same payment and save thousands of dollars in interest, you may qualify.
So come by and see us and let us show you the Vaden way.
Vaden Toyota of Sylacauga, located on Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. I'll say one more thing about the sports car market, and we'll move on. Social media definitely has helped make this business go back to where it's never been, well, really to where it's never been before. I mean, how many card shops you see around anymore? There ain't many,
no.
Right? There's a few guys online that break cards and buy it, but social media, you wouldn't have an opportunity to gauge what anything's worth or to see what the live real market value of anything would be. And so, therefore, there probably wouldn't be a lot of this even out there to be had if it weren't for social media.
Well, you bring up, and I remember when we were growing up, we had a baseball card shop here.
Strangest place.
In the local area, and no, we haven't had anything like that in a long, long time, but you bring up something that's kind of heavy on me right now is looking around at the retail market, period. It's just it's a different day and age.
People just aren't opening stores. I mean, they don't have, because of the foot traffic. Somebody made a comment the other day on a site, and this is not just out city. This is major metropolitan cities in the country, the New Yorks of the world, Chicago's, because of the cost to be in some of those areas downtown. The real estate demands that price for rent. Well, they're just not getting the foot traffic anymore. You know, people just, even though they live in an area where there is a massive volume of people, I mean, they're just not walking through their door like they would have before because they can get on home and they can get on Amazon and order it that way. And it's, look, man, I'll use that word, it sucks for a lot of people that they have that to compete with. And Amazon has kind of monopolized the industry and as far as retail is concerned. And a lot of people, there's probably not anybody out there watching or listening to us right now that hadn't ordered something off Amazon at some point in time. Well, if you've ordered something off Amazon Prime or you've ordered something off Walmart.com or something like that, you're contributing to this. You know, and you may be one that's going, I can't believe they're closing this or I can't believe that. Well, I mean, you're kind of contributing to it when you order offline, but it's not an accusation towards you because we're all doing it.
Yeah.
It's all because of convenience and what you have a chance to do and all that. It's just another example of changing landscapes in whatever it is that you're doing in the world. We talked about a changing landscape in a sport with basketball, how the game's approached and how it's played. It's the retail market's the same way.
Well, you can either continue down that path that you've been on that's not getting you anywhere, or you can change with it, you know, and it's unfortunate. There's a lot of communities out there, and Ellick City may be the perfect example of a whole generation or multiple generations that learn a certain trade like my father did in the textile market, get it to maybe not at the top of the realm, but, you know, one of the best in the country, I would say, at what he was doing and what we were doing here in this city with Russell Athletic. And you can see something like NAFTA, an ever-changing world that we live in, and all of a sudden it's all gone in the blink of an eye. And I can understand why people would be upset with that. But I'm as bad as anyone else to get caught up checking out social media and to see the talk that's going on. I'm a decent enough business person to know this. Businesses don't close that are making money. They don't close because they're shoveling money in their pocket.
Yeah.
They close because they're not. So when you want to go, well,
and it could be multiple factors to why that.
I mean, it could be, you know, poor management. It could be a lot of different things. But I'm sorry, when businesses close up, it's because they're not doing well. And
you see this all.
You can have a good reason why you think that is, and you can throw everyone in a community from leadership all the way down to the bottom of the rungs, the customer service person that's answering the door, and are they treating people well? You can dig into all of that, but it doesn't change the fact that the retail market in this country is completely changed.
Look at the malls in this country.
They're gone.
I mean, they're just non-existent. There is no going to, you know, you just look back in the 80s, and that wasn't that long ago, how big that was. You go to the shopping mall, man, every store in the world, you walking through there, you got all your shopping done in one trip.
I remember there was, we were having a conversation, I don't remember, but we were talking about before school started, enjoying a trip to Montgomery or Birmingham to go to a mall, to buy all of your school clothes for the first for the first semester or whatever you're going to do, and then going out to eat, and then it was a day trip, and you had to plan it. And everyone kind of did it. No more. What are you going to do? You going to sit around and mope about it? That's over. And the ones that are doing the moping are just like me and you and my wife. You know, there's packages that show up on our front doorstep every day. That's stuff for our kids, and you know, it doesn't mean we're not buying them in a local retail. Maybe I should be, but we're not because of convenience. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's time, and it's how it's approached. I mean, people's entertainment habits have changed. The one thing that has not changed in all of this.
Amen. I know what you're about to say.
The one thing that has not changed is live sports TV. Is that what you think I was going to say?
Yes.
All right. That hasn't changed, and guess what? It ain't going to change.
I think 97 out of the top 100 viewed programs in this country in 2019 was a sporting event.
Can I say one?
97 of 100, Brett. Let that sink in.
97.
Only 3 other events on live television caught the eyeballs that sports caught.
That's it. And you can evaluate and analyze it every which way you want to. It's not going to change because you can't replicate a Super Bowl. You can't replicate a national championship game. You can watch it. You can tape it. That's fine. But people are going to watch it live time. What shows on TV are king right now and have been since the late 90s, early 2000s? Reality shows. Why is Survivor in its 823rd season? I mean, I don't watch Survivor no more, but it was must-watch TV when I was at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and coming out of Auburn right when Kim and I first got married and everybody, that was the cool show. It's still on TV. And so and shows have morphed out of that. There's all types of different things out there. And Discovery's got Naked and Afraid. Could you imagine back when me and you were growing up, if there had been a show on TV called Naked and Afraid? You think our parents would have sat down and watched that? I mean, now it's just like norm stuff. You got people walking in the woods, ain't got a stitch on, and it's on everybody's TV because, I mean, they don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, there's all types of different reality shows out there.
Still was a very eye-opening stat, though, that 97 out of 100 of the top programs, and when you wonder where the advertising dollars are going or why is CBS or ESPN or all of these venues fighting for these live sporting events or fighting
paying all these all this money now still.
Because that's where the eyes are. If you're trying to
not gonna
follow
change.
eyes out there, and now it may change on how you pull it in.
Well, that's
you and I had that argument 10 years ago.
That's
and 10
still-
years ago, that's completely changed. I mean,
But-
you may be pulling it in on that through a social media outlet at some point. I truly believe that could be the case if they get into.
If they're going to get into buying.
That's right, airtime.
Look, YouTube's tried to do it so far and worked. Now, they've got YouTube TV, and they advertise on the sporting events.
It's growing like nuts. That's
It
where
is.
we're on now.
Yeah, that's right. But I'm just saying that's what, I mean, they're still trying to find a way to navigate those waters. Doesn't mean that they won't. Toolman said malls have become a place for evil hangout. Sad, but appears to be true. If you can find one to hang out in, I guess there's something going on. I don't know one you can go. Real quick, I just saw something come across yesterday that the mall in Montgomery, Eastdale Mall, was bought by a big group in New York. Don't know what they're planning on doing with it. So that's really the last deal in the state of Alabama. That and maybe the mall in the Galleria, and there's one over in Oxford, Quintard, I guess. I don't know.
Is it more of a summit type?
No, it's interior.
No.
It's interior too. So up against the next break. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Scotty Fortenberry is Dadeville and the Lake Martin area's full-service Alpha agent. His office on Broadneck Street offers comprehensive life, home, auto, and boat insurance at Alpha's competitive rates. Scotty and Alpha Insurance are Alabama's #1 life insurance company for a reason. You'll always get the personal attention you and your family need. Scotty also has your commercial needs covered, so whether it's just a quote or full insurance evaluation, call Alpha agent Scotty Fortenberry at 256-825-9211.
Become a member of the Superior family. Superior GMC Cadillac, Superior Hyundai, or Superior Automotive Pre-Owned. Between our 3 dealers in East Central Alabama, we offer the superior selection and service for any buyer's needs. All with the personal touch of being locally family-owned and operated. Check out any of our dealers online, or our 3 great lots in Anniston on Quintard, or our pre-owned superstore in Pell City, and join the Superior family of value.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cast aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
Caribbean Jerk boneless wings are back with a blend of mango, habanero, and exotic island spices. And introducing the Caribbean Jerk sandwich meal with banana peppers and Caribbean Jerk sauce. Caribbean Jerk boneless wings and new filet sandwich meal. 2 more reasons you'll get a kick out of Zaxby's.
The door is open, the beer's cold, and the biscuits are hot at Foshee Swats on Dable Road in Alexander City. Fishing season is in year-round and live bait is available. Non-ethanol gas is available along with propane and pellet ice. So come on by and see what we're all about, where the kitchen is open Monday through Friday early at Foshee Swats on Dable Road in Alexander City. And tell them old Katie sent you right here from the front porch, WAXC TV.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill, Sunshine Heating and Air. Go to the phone lines. Welcome in our our co-host and friend Luke Robinson. Luke, sorry we interrupted your day this morning. We know you're action-packed like you always are on Saturdays, but appreciate you taking a little time out to join us.
Yeah, I'm already about 4 hours deep into my Saturday, but of course I'll go to sleep 4 hours earlier before everybody, so it works out.
Yeah, you get it on the front end, and when everybody else is getting raring to go, yeah, you're back under the covers. Let's get right to it. Alabama, part of this Big 12 challenge today with Kansas State. Kansas State got a couple guys that will be suspended because of the altercation between them and Kansas earlier in the week. Just your thoughts on this game and how Alabama's playing as a whole.
First of all, what a joke for the Big 12 to only suspend 4 guys for that. I know that I think the referees put half a second back on the clock or whatever so that they could say they suspended more players because, they did have somebody go back out much later on and shoot free throws in that game. But just what an absolute joke to only suspend the main Kansas player. I won't even say his name for 12 games, and then I think a Kansas State player got maybe 8 and one got 3 or something like that. But just a really horrible move by the Big 12. It's really sad that they show their cards about how important all of this is. And I understand it. I understand how big the money is. But, man, when you have a brawl like that and you have players coming from the bench from everywhere, and then I put that up against, say, Alabama, Minnesota a couple years ago, where some Alabama players were starting to go towards the to the court because an Alabama player was being surrounded by Minnesota guys, and they all took a step back. They took just a couple of steps onto the court and then all got back immediately, realizing what would happen, and they were still suspended for the rest of the game, and Alabama had to play 3-on-5. It's really kind of it's just a wow. I don't even know what else to say about it. Just the Big 12 just is really disappointed, I think, most of the college basketball community. Having said that, I think Alabama has a good chance to win this game regardless. Bruce Weber, of course, is the head coach at Kansas State, and he had Kyra Lewis on his Team USA team this year, and he didn't play him very much, which is, sort of irritated a lot of Alabama fans. I know there may have been one who didn't play at all or maybe only played 2 minutes. So hopefully Kyra Lewis has a big game and sort of shows him what he missed out on this past summer. But I think Alabama's got a good chance to win it. The irony is Kansas State's sitting 2 guys, one of which doesn't really play. The other one is sort of a role player, maybe a 7th man. And Alabama's going to be down a starter because Javion Davis has a bone bruise in his knee. The good news is he's not out for the year, which a lot of people feared. The bad news is he's going to miss this game. So hopefully Alabama can put it together, and this will be a 4-game winning streak, and they'll be on a 4-game streak heading into LSU, which would be huge. And the guy by the name of John Petty has really got his game turned around, and when he makes a 3-pointer, it just sounds differently than other people making 3-pointers. And he's playing very, very well. I think it's going to be sort of up in the air if he decides to turn pro or not. Of course, a lot of people know he's got a daughter, and that may come into play, but that's a long way off. Right now, I'm just going to enjoy the way he's playing, and hopefully he keeps shooting real hot.
Luke, the McDonald's All-American team announced, so at least recruiting is in the back of our minds, what's going on the basketball court, not quite as often as we used to think about it. I used to never think about it, is what I mean to say, and now I do think about it some. Talk about Alabama's basketball recruiting and how Nate Oates is doing here in this first season, getting some more talent in there on top of what he's already got.
Well, his best recruiting job so far was convincing Petty and Kyra Lewis not to leave. And they came back, and obviously Petty's having a great year. I would say Kyra Lewis started out guns a-blazing, and he's tempered off a little bit. And then keeping the signing class that was already in place, keeping them in place and not allowing any of them to go into the portal, I think was positive as well. He's got one other kid that's from way up north, sort of the Canada area, I think, originally, and he's a top 100 guy, and that's awesome. And he also picked up James Rojas last year, who, just bad luck, he got hurt, and he's going to have to miss the whole year. I think if that guy were on this team, Alabama would at least have 2 more victories than they have right now. There's no doubt in my mind. And then Juwan Gary was another guy we signed last year that got hurt, and I don't know how much he would have contributed, but it couldn't be a negative thing because right now Alabama today is probably only going about 8 deep. But I think his recruiting's going pretty well. He's swinging for the fences. He's not getting, some of the guys, because that's what you do. I mean, when you come to Alabama, you're not going to just start signing 5-stars. That's just not how it's going to happen from other parts of the country. You've got to build your reputation. And he went all out for Namiri Barnett, I believe it was, and he ended up signing with Texas Tech, and you can't blame the kid because Texas Tech was in the national championship game last year, so I get that. But I think there's some other guys certainly on the radar that Nate Oates is looking at, and hopefully they will all come to fruition eventually, or at least some of them. He's going to get his fair share. He's a very good recruit.
Couple of more minutes here, Luke. Give us your take, your thoughts on the Senior Bowl that's currently going on.
The Senior Bowl is going to be a lot of fun today, just because of Jalen Hurts. To me, he's a great story, and I know there was a lot of controversy at first. People thought he was going to wear the Oklahoma/Alabama helmet, and he's going to end the helmet, which is I think that's the right thing to do. That's where he was last, and that's what he should do. And Alabama people are going to love him regardless. I mean, now he's going to be the story today. There's no doubt in my mind. Another guy who stood out in practice, and I think he got whatever the award is for best practicing running back, is LaMichael Pirine. And I'm a little bit shocked by that because despite the fact that he went, 88 yards against Auburn this past year, he's not known as a burner. He's not a guy that you look at and say, okay, his speed is what kills. No, he's sort of a grinded-out running back. And so I was shocked to hear he was performing as well as any other running back, or even better so, at practice. But I love this Senior Bowl every year. It really is an honor to be in it. Now, Joe Burrow isn't there because why would he go? He's the number one pick. So why would he go? Why would Derek Brown go? I mean, he's got 4 years of tape, and if you don't know he's a good defensive tackle by now, then you just don't know football. So he can't do anything. But a guy like Marlon Davidson can go down there and improve his stock. Borderline third, second-round guy could maybe move up to the borderline second, first-round guy. And so that's what's fun. A lot of these guys take it very, very seriously. And there is some regional pride on the line, and I can't wait for the Senior Bowl this afternoon.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun, Luke, and I'm going to watch that as well. But thanks for taking some time out. Enjoy your rest of your day, and don't have too much fun at Chuck E. Cheese, okay?
Don't you worry. That ain't going to be an issue.
See you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Get off your list.
Yeah, crossed off officially. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Comfort is our number one concern. Advanced heat and air.
With the hot summer season just around the corner, it's time to decide if your current air conditioning system will keep you cool this year. Call Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning for a free estimate on a brand new energy-efficient Trane heat pump system for your home or business. Your comfort is our number one concern. Call Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-234-5052.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. WOTM has you covered with live coverage of all 7 championship games of the Super 7. WOTM is available to all TV providers in Alabama. If WOTM is not currently a part of your channel lineup, call your provider and request that they add WOTM. WOTM, your exclusive TV home for the AHSAA Super 7 basketball, baseball, and softball championships. All live only on WOTM.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local Cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
Grab a 5-quart jug of Napa conventional motor oil for only $12.99 for a limited time at Napa Auto Parts. We're ready for back to school, even if you aren't ready. Purchase any Napa automotive battery and receive $25 back by mail at Napa Auto Parts.
Life is a sequence of little successes.
The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal. The encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
The Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales in Opelika has the largest selection of prestige cars, trucks, and SUVs in Central and East Alabama, all with financing available, little to no money down, and extended warranties. Get pre-qualified in under 2 minutes, online or from your mobile device at GillsPrestigeOnline.com. It's the Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales, 1430 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. Man, some of these tweets and texts we have to read. But anyway, going over now to talk a little bit about Auburn today. They tip off at 11 this morning against Iowa State. Iowa State not very good. I mean, there's no way to really spin this one. 9-9, 2-4 in the conference. They do have one of the best guards in the country. Tyrese Halliburton averages almost 16 points a game. So guess what? When you say that, and when you start an analysis about a team playing Auburn, when they've got a really good guard, that's not good for Auburn, because Auburn has struggled with that against everybody they played. So just don't look at the record. Tyrese Halliburton can get it off the dribble. He's good with assists. And Auburn has struggled with that since they've gotten into conference.
Yeah,
play.
matching up, on-ball defense has not been our strength so far this year. And when we've got a quick point guard in front of us, we allow him to get into the paint and distribute the basketball and
He's
make
6'5",
things happen.
too, by the way.
Look at his total stat line: 15.9 points per game, 6 rebounds, 7.5 assists. This guy does everything well, shoots the ball well also, is a 77% free throw shooter. But they are 9-9. They only shoot 31% from three. They rebound the basketball at about a 7 differential from Auburn right now at 35 and almost 42 for Auburn. So you think down in the post there may be some chances for Auburn. But at some point during this stretch, and I know we're getting quality play out of Austin Wiley.
He needs to turn it up a notch.
I mean, you need games when you're that guy and you're a senior and you've been around the program and you look like this guy does, and he does have good skill and he is shooting the ball well from the free throw line. You got to have a game where he goes and gets 22 and 12. I mean, if he's a pro.
What's the most points he scored this year? 18?
I don't know. Has he gotten that?
I don't know.
I mean, he's averaging 10 and 9 right now, which is quality. But
I don't know what game. I don't know what his high point total is, but it's not 20.
It's most of the time 8, 9, 10, 13, somewhere around
He may have
there.
scored 15 in a game.
I mean, in a game like we had against Alabama at Coleman, where you are better in the post than they are.
Looked like a good start for him. Didn't end well.
No. And so this one, too. When you look down at the stat totals for Iowa State, and they're averaging 35.5 rebounds per game in comparison to 42 for Auburn, you got to feel like you got an advantage down in there. And Austin Wiley's got to take advantage of that at some point. I like what we did this week with Okoro with the basketball in his hands at not a point guard position, but at times that's really what he's doing there at a 3. Is the ball is in his hands at the top of the key to break down the defense, to get down into the lane, distribute it out. It worked out well. I hope we see more of that, Brett, because assists here for this Auburn team's been really up and down. And I think Okoro passes the ball well enough, and I think his strength to get into the lane could help this team moving down the stretch.
Yeah, I do too. I really do. Man, Cambridge exploded against South Carolina. 26 points for that young man. And look, if you look at Auburn's totals against South Carolina, Dowdy and McCormick ended up having good, but they started horrendous. It was a carryover of the Florida and Alabama game in that first half. Neither one of them were having good games. Dowdy ends up finding it a little bit, scored 11. McCormick had 13. And then Cambridge with 26. Randy, if Cambridge doesn't go off in this game, they lose again.
Well, Auburn hits 10 3-pointers. It's a key
Most
number.
of them were him.
6 of them being Cambridge in the ball game. And Auburn needs him. They need a few of these bench guys this year, maybe more than others.
Purefoy, man.
Somebody just to get a much better play here in the second half of the season. I said this on Tuesday's show. To me, if Jamal Johnson does not shoot the basketball 8 or 10 times for Auburn, it's like Anthony Schwartz getting 2 touches.
He only
in a
shot
football
3
game.
times.
I don't understand that. I think he's our best outside shooter consistently.
He was 2 for 3 from outside.
But we've got to find
only
ways.
shot 3 times.
You know, the game before that, last Saturday, he shot the ball once. Now, it was an air ball, but who cares?
And they took him out. I mean, how you going to get in a rhythm?
I just sense that when you watch him, he's going to get going. And Bruce Pearl trying to do everything he can to get these guys to buy into you've got to make meaningful minutes out there on the court. And he was more proud than anyone that Devin Cambridge gave him what he gave him on Wednesday night.
I know Bruce Pearl knows that he's got to have Samir Dowdy and Javon McCormick play well the rest of the year to have a chance. So he's probably not going to bench either one of those guys. But I'm telling you, if it would have carried over into the second half, Dowdy's play, and of course Purefoy right now struggling, I would put them on the bench and start Johnson and Cambridge to kind of see if we could change something up, because those 2 guys seem to be bringing you more on the offensive side of the floor. Purefoy 0 for 4 again. He had no point. I mean, he had 4 points, had some from the free throw line, but I mean, this is a guy that, I mean, he needs to be putting 15 a game in. I mean, he's an outside shooter, hadn't found his range in the last few games. So sometimes you need to mix it up. I think you'll probably see the same starting 5 today with Bruce Pearl. I mean, you'll see Dowdy and McCormick and Wiley and Okora and Purefoy. But, I mean, Cambridge, got to get him in the flow earlier. Got to get, like you said, Johnson more shots. He shot the ball 3 times against South Carolina and made 2 of them. I mean, so it's like you said, it's a very good comparison. We're not questioning Bruce Pearl by no means, so don't nobody even say that. But it is odd that you got a shooter like that, and he shot 2 of 3, and you don't get him more opportunities.
I think that's the stat line we've seen more times than not with him. And the thing I really like about him is he shoots off the catch well. Most guys want to have the basketball in their hand, few dribbles.
Comes off screens well.
But he comes off screens, ball's in his hand, quick release, gets rid of the basketball. Got to find ways and plays. And Bruce Pearl's, look, he's an outstanding coach. He knows all of what we're saying 10 million times better than we do. But I want to tip my hat to him here that in years past, we didn't have depth that you thought could come off the bench. No. Cambridge, before the other night, was our 8th or 9th best option.
Oh, absolutely.
And when your 8th or 9th best option can get you 26 points in an SEC game,
it's impressive.
You've done a pretty good job of getting some talent in there. Now you just got to get them to buy in that it's their time and their time to help. And if we can get Cambridge to keep playing, he may be the best athlete on the court.
He could be.
Even better than Okora.
Yeah. I know it's not the case this year, and you're not going to see Auburn hitting 12, 13, 14 threes in a game. You might on one particular given night. But you remember last year, the magic number was 11. Anytime Auburn got to 11 threes, they won. They hit 10 the other night, 10 of 27. It was more of a look of last year's team than ever. So I know Auburn's not going to be that team this year. They haven't been all year, and they're going to have to win in different ways. But, I mean, it just shows you, man, you get up to the 10, 11 make mark from three-point land, it doesn't matter who you're playing. It's tough to get beat when you're hitting those kind of threes. Up against our final break of the program, stay tuned. The Saturday Sports Countdown continues right after this.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Hey, it's Steve from the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, and after 10 years of serving the good people of East Alabama and West Georgia, we're still doing business the same way, offering the best products at the best prices with the area's best warranties and installing them with the area's best technicians. With great customer service, a knowledgeable sales staff, and our commitment to customer satisfaction, along with the best selection of the latest technology in the industry, there's no reason to shop anywhere else. Shop with confidence. Shop at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
At Russell Medical, our transitional care unit is a great alternative to nursing home care after a medical or surgical hospital stay. Transitional care increases strength and endurance through skilled nursing and therapy programs to promote a safe return home. Enjoy on-site therapy, private rooms, an activity center, and more. Call Russell Medical today to see if our transitional care unit is the right care for you.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Since the dawn of time, mankind has needed tools. But not all tools are created equal. AGF Machine Rental Sales and Service has tools for all commercial construction or big residential projects. AGF Machinery offers the most durable and hardworking brands of ASV, Skyjack, and Wacker Neusen. Aerial lifts, scissor lifts, loaders, excavators, and forest equipment on demand for the best possible price. And backed by the Southeast's best team of professionals. Visit any of our strategic locations across Alabama for all your equipment needs. Or online at agfmachinery.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of the Saturday Sports Countdown. Just to kind of close it out, we've talked about and kind of highlighted some of the superlatives. Obviously, Zion Williamson's garnered a lot of attention since he started this week in his first 2 NBA games. Really has not disappointed. At 22 points in his first matchup the other night to start his NBA career. That's more than Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Who else did they compare it to? And the amount of minutes that he played, only played 18 minutes, had 22 points, went off in the fourth quarter. Last night had another good game, had 15 points, several rebounds. They're really monitoring him as far as what they're doing, not going to play him a lot of minutes, going to kind of gradually work him in. Tiger Woods right now, not anywhere close. Well, he's I think he's 4 under, leading's 10 under. In the Farmers Open or Farmers Insurance Open, he's won a majority. He's won more of his tournaments, of his 82 wins at Torrey Pines than any other golf course. I think he's won there 9 or 10 times. So this is a course he's familiar with. You know how Saturdays are for Tiger Woods. You'll either see him move his way out of contention or put himself right there at the top. There won't be any in between there. But some good golf going on there. You look at the Super Bowl coming up next Sunday. We'll talk about that. You really ain't heard a lot. I mean, did you realize the Pro Bowl is being played tomorrow?
No,
Does anybody care?
No.
Is that the most I mean,
I would never. There is no way you could force me to watch that.
I mean, there's no substance to it.
No.
There's nothing. It's not any they'll just do away with it. But I mean, I guess they do it just for promotion and all. But next Sunday, this a week from today, you and I'll be talking about that Super Bowl coming up, San Francisco and Kansas City. Pat Mahomes, man, you're talking about these athletes. He's got a chance to, as a very young player, to notch a Super Bowl win. So does Jimmy Garoppolo. Two really good quarterbacks playing against one another.
Yeah, two really quality guys when it comes to athleticism out there. I thought that run that Mahomes had in the second quarter last weekend, where he just fights off some tackles down the left sideline, gets it into the end zone. Really not what he's touted for, but the type of football player that you need at quarterback now is more of the Russell Wilson type, where you can when things break down. And I'm not saying the good old-fashioned pocket passer's still not in demand, but I enjoy the Garoppolos and the Mahomes.
Once
Those
again,
are the type of players I enjoy watching.
Seems to be the trend of our show today. The changing of the way games are played, the shopping habits of people, the viewership of how you bring in stuff. I mean, just the world's changed. I mean, and just how the NFL was always branded as a fullback, tight end, quarterback, drop back in the pocket, like you just said.
Jim Harbaugh and his how well he did with San Francisco, and it was just completely that type of football. Even the NFL's moved away from that now.
That's right, and they've kind of changed with the times as well. So it's just what's working for everybody out there. But again, we want to thank everybody for watching and listening every single Saturday, and we appreciate it very, very much. I was going to wrap it up for this week's Saturday Sports Countdown. We'll be back with you next Saturday. For Randy Lee, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you next Saturday.